I've done so many of these. Like sometimes, like the names just blur. It just becomes like a blender of like names and comics. And thankfully, I've never really messed up a comic, like talking about a comic and meant to like another comic series for another creator, because that would be devastating.
But I completely I was like, do I mention that I've been a guest before? Do I not? Is that, which is like less awkward.
Hey, thankfully that was backstage too, right? All right, so we are just going to let it go live for a little bit, just to make sure we're not dropping frames and to make sure everything is running smoothly. For anyone that is joining us, we're going to be dropping a link to the Kickstarter that we're going to be chatting about today. And Devin's comic within it. I'm very excited. I had a chance to check out a preview, and we're going to be pulling that preview up live during chat. So be sure to check out the Kickstarter right here. Here's a link. If you're able to back, we would love to see it. If not, simply put that on Facebook, Twitter, word of mouth, 100% free to do. Cost you nothing. So share the love. Devin, how was your day today?
Hey, yeah, pretty good, thanks. Yeah, Sunday, day off, family day. Because my husband works evenings and I work Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. So we can only really get to, spend the day together on Sundays.
That is such a hard shift to do. Me and my significant other share the same exact time frame. Yeah, she works like 7 to 3, 7 to 30. I work roughly about 4 to 5 to 2 in the morning. So it's like, yeah, it's a nightmare. It's a grind. It definitely, and it can be taxing too, right?
Oh yeah. I used to work the overnight shift at a couple of different places, so I completely sympathize. Yeah.
So we are good. We are live. We're not dropping a single frame, and we're good to get this party started. We have our good friend Tipsy joining us over on Twitch. Good to see you. I hope you're having a fantastic day as well. So Devin, you ready to get the show started?
Sure. Yeah. Let's go.
All right. Let me go ahead and pull up my handy dandy notebook, and let's begin in 3, 2, 1. Yo, what's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to yet again another fantastic episode of Keeping It Geekly. It's your Cape Crusader Cody, and we're joined by our returning guest, Devin Whitlock. We're here to break down Dreamlands Anthology and Devin's story within it, The Descent, and everything in between. Devin, welcome back to the show. How have you been,
Yeah, good. Thanks. Yeah, it's been a really good couple of years. I was with you for the first anthology, my first ever published comic, and I'm happy to be back for the Dreamlands anthology. I've been in a few anthologies since then. I've self-published a couple of comics, so I'm really excited to be back.
Isn't it crazy how just the smallest step leads to so much?
Oh yeah, I've found like nothing but like helpful people along the way. It's the indie comics crowd is full of some of the most helpful, supportive people that you could ask for.
And it's awesome to hear that you've self-published a couple titles. What titles have you dropped?
Yeah, so I got The Passion of St. Alban of the West is a collection of 3 short comics. It's the main character, Alban of the West. It's sort of a supernatural horror western about this itinerant gunman with supernatural powers, just popping up, righting wrongs, and then going leaving when he has to. I've got a 4-issue miniseries that I'm hoping to publish. Been pitching that to a couple of publishers, and when I saw the call to submissions for the Dreamlands anthology by Warden Comics, I was like, oh, this is an opportunity for Alban of the West. Yeah.
No, that is so cool, and it's funny too because the first time you were on that anthology, I was gonna submit to it too, and I remember life just getting in the way, and I actually had my submission, and because you had to make it related to something, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a couple years, but I remember there had to be some sort of connection to all the stories, correct?
Right. There was like an overarching, like a specific technology that had to appear in all the.
Yeah. I remember I had an idea plotted out, and then I was like, you know what? I did a class with Amy Chu, and I took that idea and I just scripted out an 8-page ash can. And it was so funny because it was like a year or two after it dropped, but I ended up still like taking from what I was gonna submit and coming up with something. And I think it was really cool you came up with St. Alban. I had a chance to check out some of the preview pages, and we're gonna pull that up in a little bit. But before we, dive too deep into things, uh, this guy is a badass. Like, where did the idea for him come from?
Well, it's kind of funny. So I've had this idea floating around for, yeah, gosh, like 20 years, I think. Like I first had this idea in college, uh, and back then, it was just a blatant ripoff of Jonah Hex. That's all it was.
Hmm.
And uh, but then, as I got older, as I kind of came into my own as a creator. Also, when I revisited, those old Jonah Hex stories, I was like almost horrified to see all this like lost cause mythology. This like, oh, I fought for the Confederacy, but I was still a good person. Like, no, no, like
Yeah, you're bad.
yeah. That's it. I've been like pitching Alvin of the West as woke Jonah Hex as my elevator pitch. Cause uh, but so I you know this like sort of subversion of like Wild West mythology, but also this like of like Christian iconography, you
Hmm.
know, because in college I was an evangelical and like hardcore right wing Christian. So the idea back then was actually sort of like a almost like a Christian nationalist promoting uh, Christian values, whatever that means anymore, but. The core idea of this gunman, you know, who can see like the astral plane or can experience the angels and demons and whatnot, you know, like that, you know, I realized that that core was still workable and still
Hmm.
good and still something that I could uh, tell stories with, and then eventually, I was able to expand that too. Like it's not just demons, but it's fairies. It can be
Hmm.
cosmic horror, and that's where when I saw the Dreamlands anthology asking for Lovecraftian stories, like oh here we go. What one more thing I can highlight. One more power set that this character can display.
So you studied religion in college. How much of that do you draw upon for this series?
Well, actually, it's kind of fun. I studied English in college.
Oh, English.
uh,
Sorry, sorry.
yeah, no, I I blathered on about religion often enough that you would think that I studied religion, but no, I yeah, uh, but uh, yeah, it was all like just sort of like this like hobby that because my focus in or my concentration from my English degree was medieval and Renaissance literature,
Oh,
and
that's
so
so
that was
cool.
all
Yeah.
like stories about Catholic saints and things
Hmm.
like that, and that's actually where the name Saint Alban came from. Was he is like the first English martyr, and uh, he is like someone who pretended to be a priest and then took his place during Roman persecution. And this is
Hmm.
all he probably never existed, but this was back in like 300 the year 300, and I thought like what if I took that and then I applied that to the Wild West, and so it's you know like Catholic missionaries, and he's a cowboy, but he's like
Hmm.
trying to you know minister, and you know I don't want to like spoil anything for his origin, which I do have planned out, but I don't want to reveal too much. But yeah, all of those like old stories, they were full of oh he goes to get his head cut off, and then the executioner's eyes fall out of his head or
Hmm.
something, and you know this idea, because they are really horrifying. If
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
yeah, and so like it's very easy to then apply all those tropes from, Catholic hagiography to, a horror comic in like the old EC tradition.
Yeah, I always find it interesting when projects are created from just like prior research and prior knowledge in that realm, and it's really cool to hear the creation of this character. Now he has a really interesting trait where his eye starts to glow, and is that like an upside down cross scar?
Yes, it's a, he's got an upside down, and it's not, I'm always kind of like waiting for the day for somebody to say, "Oh, it's satanic or it's evil." But the upside down cross is actually a Catholic symbol in its own right.
Isn't Saint Peter?
Yes, the St.
Yeah,
Peter's
yeah,
cross, exactly. He was crucified upside down, so like the upside down cross is can be a good thing
yeah,
in
yeah,
its own
yeah.
way. And yeah, I have. Uh, I don't know if you remember the Ultraverse line from the 90s,
Hmm.
published by Malibu Comics. There's a character I'm probably dating myself, but I've always been a big fan of that line. And there was a character. He was the second openly gay superhero in mainstream American comics, called Spectral, and he was a Human Torch, but he burned each different color of the rainbow.
I mean, that's pretty cool though, right?
Oh yeah.
I feel like that'd be a pretty cool like kind of style to fly around in.
Oh, they had to like sideline the character through half the stories because he was so powerful. But like, and that idea that like each color represented a different power kind of stuck
Hmm.
with me, I think. And so with Alban, he's got uh, his eye uh, burns blue for demons, it burns yellow for witchcraft, and then for the Dreamlands anthology, for his story with Yog Sothoth, it's not actually Cthulhu; it's a Lovecraftian story. So I have
Hmm.
to, I know the Lovecraft pedants will at me in the comments if I get the actual old god wrong.
I was gonna say you
But
sounded pretty close, better than I probably could attempt.
Yeah, so it's like a whole brand new color that even Alban has never experienced. So uh, yeah,
So
uh,
where the idea for like the different types of like supernatural out there to be inspired by different colors? Like it was from that comic, or is there any other meaning like that goes into which color represents which supernatural being?
well, I did eventually, like, it did actually work through, what I wanted each color to represent, because like originally I actually had the the for demons his eye would turn red, but that just seemed kind of cliche.
Mm.
Plus, then I had nothing for blue, so so I made blue the demon color, and then I just said that you know the flames of hell burn blue
Hmm.
because a blue flame actually does represent a hotter flame. So
Absolutely. And I think right now, let's go ahead. We'll pull up a preview because you were kind enough to send us a PDF of this and get a
yeah.
better idea of what we're looking at. So, right here, we're interesting cover. What type of beings are we seeing right here in the
Yeah,
background?
these are the demons, and yeah. So the main artistic team for the Passion of Saint Alban of the West, it's artist David Escobar and letter Buddy Beaudoin, uh, and this is David's cover for the self-published uh, uh, comic. They're also the main team on the Dreamlands anthology, but this is David's cover, and I was blown away. I
Yeah, it's
Even
gorgeous.
before I had like the script finished, I knew I had, oh, it's gonna be a story with demons, and he sends me these four character designs, and I was just like, oh, this is definitely like I made the right choice. This is-
Oh, this is beautiful. Silverboat joining us over on Twitch. Thank you for joining us. I hope everyone is having a fantastic night. So right here is where we get a good idea of what we're looking at with this character. Right away, we see him walking in, and I mean, his character design is badass. What influences do you have for him as a character?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the Clint Eastwood influence is, almost obvious. But yeah, I sent David a ton of images of Clint Eastwood from the Man with No Name trilogy. I think I sent him a few images from Deadwood. Uh, Uh, yeah, I think it was just mainly Clint Eastwood. The the Man with No Name trilogy, Pale Rider, uh, Unforgiven,
Hmm.
like one of my favorite modern westerns.
So why have it just be the mood of his eye, the color of his eye, be the only color in this? Was there a purpose or symbolism behind that?
Well, I really like the how much more it evokes, how
Hmm.
much more evocative it is of the color. I felt like if it was done in full color, then it would just it might get like lost in the shuffle or just kind of fade into the background. But here, yeah, like in this page, you see it shining, even in shadow.
And badass hat choice for him too. Like the silhouette, he looks beastly.
Yeah. And the hat too actually even has like some symbolism to it because I normally have him wearing a monk's hood
Hmm.
when he's traveling, but then when he has to like start working, whenever he has to like start going after some sort of supernatural evil, then the hood comes off and the hat goes on.
Almost like Heisenberg. So yeah, no, the color is very prominent, and I love how you can play with it in the silhouettes too. When you were working with the creative team on this, how much direction did you let your artist take, or did you kind of have like stricter guidelines on how you wanted these to play out?
Yeah, it's funny you say that because like when I started off, I had like a very rigid idea in my head of like even down to like the page layouts and the panel sizes and everything. But then like when David came back to me with like even his thumbnails, I'm like, oh, this is so much better. This is forget everything I said. This is better. You know what you're doing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And this panel right here is so brutal too. Can we maximize that? Oh, yeah, this is brutal. I loved it too. You didn't stray from making it a little bit more gruesome or a little bit darker. And right here we have him glowing yellow, and the gigantic serpent. I mean, this when I stumbled onto this page, I thought it was awesome. Like just his little character and this gigantic snake.
Yeah, this is uh, from the short story "The Serpent," uh, and this artist is Federico Peters. I met him on Discord actually, and then uh, yeah, I just asked him. I forget, but I needed an artist for this story, and I was like, yeah, how about uh, this 4-page story to highlight uh, Alban going up against witchcraft
Hmm.
and. Yeah, he really knocked it out of the park with the gunslinger and the giant snake. Yeah,
And even this one too, where we have the green, and the art on this too. I really enjoyed the artistic style on this.
yeah. This is Trey Baldwin. I met them on Blue Sky, and again, what I really love about all three of these stories is that they're very different styles, but it just shows the versatility of this character. I
Hmm.
think. Yeah, we have the green for the fairies and earth magic, and and then again, and then that story is the garden, and that's another thing that I did for Alban of the West. For the most part, all of the chapters, all of the stories, they take their title from a Station of the Cross, and so
Oh,
that's
that's
uh,
cool.
for the Dreamlands. With the cosmic horror, I have the Descent, and so originally that represents the descent of Jesus' body off of the cross when they're after he's died and they're going to put him in the tomb. But for Alban and for Yog Sothoth, it's the descent of the old gods to earth, the descent of Alban into madness, the descent of you know I, the different planes of existence. I saw a great opportunity for like a multi-layered meaning in the title there.
No, I think it's really cool how you have different levels to it. It can be taken at one face value and at a completely different one in a whole different perspective. And that I really enjoy when stories and titles follow that. that suit. So we are looking at the Dreamlands Anthology. This cover is absolutely gorgeous.
Oh yeah,
Over a
that's
hundred pages
Leonardo.
too.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, the cover artist Leonardo Colapietro. I hope I'm not butchering his name too badly.
Yeah, gorgeous, and over 100 pages, and it's ready to go. It's ready to ship as soon as the Kickstarter ends. Here are some
Yeah.
of the interiors too. Absolutely gorgeous. I love how everything has a different style, different colors, like vibe to it. You know, this is Anthology at its peak.
Oh yeah, there's 20 comics altogether. There's one that was actually done by the editors. Yeah, it's Warden Comics, and that was edited by Ludi Sexton and Ken Kreckler. They have a story in it called "I Summoned Cthulhu for Jury Duty." It's, how can you go wrong with that title and concept?
So here is a look up at the creator lineup, along with the titles.
Yeah, I know a couple of these guys from like Discord and Substack. I worked with a couple of them for one-page comics, the Comic Jam.
Hmm.
That's a great group.
So let's go ahead and check out some of the rewards and see what all the hype is about. You can get the Digital Dreamer at $5, so a PDF at 100 pages. That is one hell of a buy. I can't think of a better value. I mean, that is insane, an insane price for the PDF. We have the digital archivist, the complete Warden Comics digital collection, over 400 pages of horror, myth, and beautiful illustrated madness. So another outstanding bang for your buck there. And then we have a physical copy of that cover A at $20. So yeah, some great prices just on these tiers. A couple different rewards here. You get the Dreamlands art pack for 35. We have a creative circle at 100. So this tier includes both books signed by the cover artist. So signed by the cover artist and get your name printed in the book as well. So for anyone looking to get a thank you page in the book, hit this tier up. And last but not least, we have the collector's edition limited to 10. So tell us a little bit about this one.
Yeah, the I don't know as much about this one. I know that there's 10 of them, and I wish I could afford it myself. But
So it looks like the tier includes custom collector's edition signature and dedication page, and it's hand numbered, number out of 10. So anyone looking to get that one, you still have a spot at number 1. So jump on while you still can. And it's personally dedicated to the backer, signed by the creator, cover artist, variant cover artist, and logo designer. So it exists as a thank you to a small group of supporters who want a permanent collectible piece of the Dreamlands Anthology, never to be produced ever again. So for anyone that is here, be sure to check out this link with us. Hit it up if you're able to back. We would love to see that, but simply putting it on Facebook, Twitter, Blue Sky, anywhere you can. Word of mouth is 100% free. It costs you absolutely nothing to do. So Devin, for anyone who might be on the fence about backing, what would you like to say to them to help push them over that hump?
yeah, uh, I'd say that you are in for a treat. You're in for whatever type of comic that you enjoy too. Like if you like horror, if you like a more humorous take on the Lovecraftian mythos, if you just like supporting indie creators and everything that uh, that we do. I say you can't go wrong. Yeah, I I know that money's tight and times are a little tougher all over, but
Hmm.
yeah, even just the digital tier or just sharing the campaign. I know we're off to a really good start, but we could really use all the help that people are willing to give.
No, that is awesome. And last but not least, you've been on the show before. We love asking for a piece of advice as well as what you're up to outside of creating. So, for the creator out there looking to submit some work to anthologies or looking to create an anthology themselves, like a book of maybe a couple short stories, what would be your biggest piece of advice to help them?
Hmm. I'd say uh, follow what other people are doing. See what who's submitting to what. I know social media gives me a lot of anxiety, but
Hmm.
you can find smaller like servers or whatever groups that make you comfortable. There's a really great Patreon called Tea Goblin Cafe. I think it's actually how I found out about this anthology in the first place. Yeah, but if you're like you know nice and to people, and
Mm-hmm.
polite and easy to work with, and open to working with people, I think you'll find people are willing to work with you.
That is awesome, and I think it does go a long way to treat peers, fellow creators with respect and a little bit of love. Throw a little bit of love their way, and you'd be surprised at how much love you get back.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So Devin, what are you up to outside of creating? What video games are you playing? What TV shows are you watching? What books are you reading?
Oh, I wish I was more of a gamer. I just although I run a comics book club in my spare time, and right now we're winding down our season of manga, and
Oh,
so
that's
we
so cool. What are you guys
yeah.
reading?
We just got done with The Summer Hikaru Died, which I absolutely love. Can't recommend that enough. And then for March, we're reading Witch Hat Atelier, Volume 1, which all I know about is that it's insanely popular. So
I
I
mean, I think it's really cool you run a book club. Is it hard to do?
sometimes they're better than others, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's I thankfully I have like a really good friendly group. We're always open to new types of comics, and everyone's feedback. Not everybody likes every comic we choose every
Hmm.
month, but it's always an interesting discussion.
That's so cool. So, any TV shows or any new movies you're checking out too?
Uh, Gosh, what? Uh, uh, I'm blanking on the name. I was reading Amit Tischler's newsletter, and he recommended this anime that I have yet to find. To Takopi's Original Sin, I
Okay.
think is the name of it.
Yeah, his newsletter is awesome. Mind Splatter.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. And then so I do have like another comic that I'm working on. Actually, The Glare is
Ooh,
terrible.
hold on. Let me go ahead. We'll get you a spotlight for that. All right. So Blackout. That looks cool. Tell us a little bit about that.
Thanks. Yeah, that's a public domain superhero. That's another. I'm working on that's a like a 4-page comic that
Hmm.
I self-published, and then I'm working on a full issue 1 that I've actually applied for a grant with the city of Chicago uh, to make it. So
That's
fingers
so cool.
crossed.
So how does grant working go? Is it hard, or you just send in an application?
Oh, well, yeah, you send in an application, but yeah, you have to have a budget. You have to have
Hmm.
spreadsheets. You have to have, you know, people lined up. You have to have, you know, proof that you're a working artist in some capacity. I had to, uh, I realized I hadn't updated my state ID, so I had to run to the DMV like the day before the deadline to change my address and then get it updated so I could upload a photo to prove my Chicago
Hmm.
residency to get to apply for the Chicago grant.
So what all goes into working off an existing IP? Is it hard to like learn the world, or did you kind of just create your own with them?
I pretty much, yeah, like a little from column A, a little from column B. So
Hmm.
this character actually, he only appeared in one 10-page comic in 1941 and then just vanished, never again. And uh, he, the character, as he was created, was fighting Nazis in Belgrade.
Yeah,
And clearly, like created by a couple of guys in New York City, had probably never been to Belgrade. Uh, but I decided to keep that setting, keep that time period, and I figured always a good time to create comics about punching Nazis.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah. So that is awesome. We'll be sure to update the description where you can find that if it's available digital or physical. So Devin, thank you so much for swinging by and breaking down your work with us and giving us a chance to check out that PDF as well.
Oh yeah,
Everyone,
you bet. Thanks for having me on. It was great talking to you.
absolutely. And everyone that is watching, here is a link to check out that Kickstarter once again. Be sure to back. If you can't, be sure to share. It's absolutely
Yeah.
free and costs you nothing to do. Hope Hope you all have a lovely Sunday, but most importantly, guys, keep it geekly. All right, Devin, you know the drill. You